The smell of old cardboard and mothballs filled my nose as I sorted through yet another dusty box in my parents' attic. My mother's voice drifted up from below, that familiar tone of gentle disappointment that had become her default when speaking to me. "Rebecca, dear, you don't have to do this today. I know you're busy with work. I am Rebecca Jackson, and at 38 years old, I was still trying to be the good daughter, even after everything." "It's fine, Mom," I called back, carefully stacking photo albums to one side. "You said you wanted to declutter before the renovation." My fingers brushed against something leather-bound at the bottom of the box. A diary. No, several of them, tied together with a faded ribbon. My mother's neat handwriting marked the dates. 1998-2002. The years everything changed. I quickly buried them under some old sweaters. Something told me these weren't meant for the donation pile. "Becca?" My sister Lily's voice now, sweet as honey. "Mom says dinner's almost ready." I descended the attic stairs to find Lily standing there, perfect as always in her cream cashmere sweater. At 35, she still managed to look like the fragile teenager our parents had spent decades protecting. "You've got dust in your hair," she said, reaching out as if to brush it away. I stepped back, avoiding her touch. The dining room was a museum of forced smiles and unspoken tensions. Dad sat at his usual place, fiddling with his napkin. Mom brought out her signature pot roast, the one she'd made the night I told them about the divorce. "How's the new apartment?" Dad asked, passing the potatoes. "It's good. Stella's a great roommate." "Still sharing at your age?" Lily's voice dripped concern. "I worry about you, living like a college student." "I'm fine, Lily. The divorce settlement—" "Let's not discuss that," Mom cut in sharply. "We're here to talk about something important." My fork paused halfway to my mouth. The last time she'd used that tone, she was telling me she believed my ex-husband's lies about my emotional instability. "Your father and I have been thinking," she continued, reaching for Dad's hand. "With the market so uncertain and our age to consider, we've decided to transfer the estate early." The pot roast turned to ash in my mouth. "We're leaving everything to Lily." The words hung in the air like smoke. I set my fork down carefully, afraid I might snap it in half. "Everything." My voice sounded distant, even to me. "The house, the savings." "It makes sense," Dad said, not meeting my eyes. "Lily needs the security. You're the survivor, Rebecca. You always land on your feet." I looked at my sister. She was staring at her plate, but I caught the slight upturn of her lips. "You're right," I said, my tone perfectly level. "I am a survivor." "Oh, sweetheart." Mom's eyes welled up. "We know this might seem unfair, but Lily's so fragile. After everything she's been through. Everything she's been through." The words echoed in my head as I remembered the diaries upstairs. My hand tightened around my water glass. "Of course," I said, standing up. "If you'll excuse me, I need some air." I walked to the front porch, my heels clicking against the hardwood floors my father had installed when we were children. Behind me, I heard Lily's soft voice. "Should I go check on her?" "No," Mom replied. "You know how she gets. She just needs time to process." Standing in the cool evening air, I pulled out my phone and texted Stella. "Found something interesting in Mom's attic. Need your help." The response came quickly. "Wine night? My place?" I looked back through the window. My perfect sister was hugging our mother, probably murmuring comforting words about how I'd come around eventually. How I'd understand that this was for the best. "Yes," I typed back. "And bring that bottle you've been saving. Tonight we're celebrating." "Celebrating what?" I watched my family through the glass, these people who had rewritten history to cast me as the villain and Lily as the victim. who had taken everything from me once and were trying to do it again. The beginning of the end, I replied, slipping the key to the attic into my pocket. Tomorrow, I'd return while they were at church. Tomorrow, I'd find out exactly what those diaries contained. My phone buzzed one last time. Now you're speaking my language. Time to burn it all down? I smiled, feeling lighter than I had in years. No, I wrote back. Time to tell the truth. Holy shit, Stella whispered, wine forgotten as she read over my shoulder. Holy shit. I sat cross-legged on her living room floor, surrounded by my mother's diaries. The pages smelled of dust and secrets, and my hands trembled as I turned each one. Keep reading, I said, pointing to the entry dated March 15th, 2000. Lily came home crying again today. Says that girl Harmony is still spreading rumors about what really happened on the stairs. I've called the school board 3 times now. Francis thinks we should get a lawyer involved. The Mackenzies are threatening to press charges. Stella took a long drink straight from the bottle. What happened on the stairs? I flipped back several pages to where it all began. My mother's normally precise handwriting was shaky here, the ink blotched with what looked like dried tears. February 2nd, got called to the school. Lily and that Mackenzie girl were fighting over Tommy Peterson. Harmony fell down the stairs, or was pushed, as she claims. Severe concussion, broken arm, fractured ribs. Lily swears it was an accident, that Harmony tripped. But the look in my daughter's eyes. Jesus, Stella breathed. It gets worse. I pulled out another diary. Listen to this. Used $50,000 from Frank's early retirement fund to settle with the Mackenzies. They're moving to Oregon next month. Harmony will finish school there. The principal agreed to keep it off Lily's record. He owes me for all those years on the PTA board. Stella grabbed her laptop. Let me search for Harmony Mackenzie. While she typed, I read more entries. Each one twisted the knife deeper. Had to increase Lily's therapy sessions. Rebecca keeps asking questions about why Harmony left so suddenly. Told her to mind her own business. That girl always was too nosy for her own good. Found her! Stella turned the screen toward me. She goes by Harmony Wells now. Lives in Portland. The photo showed a woman about my age, pretty, despite a slight scar near her hairline. She was smiling in front of a bookstore, but there was something guarded in her eyes. Look at this, Stella pointed to another entry. Your mom wrote about you here. April 12th. Rebecca won't stop defending that Mackenzie girl. Says Lily's been cruel to her for years. My eldest has always been jealous of her sister's popularity. Sometimes I worry about her attitude. So cold, so angry. Nothing like my sweet Lily. I slammed the diary shut, my vision blurring. Sweet Lily, who nearly killed a girl over a boy, then let our parents destroy themselves financially to cover it up, and they're giving her everything. Stella's voice was hard. After this? Hell no. My phone buzzed. A text from my mother. Sweetheart, please call. We need to discuss your behavior at dinner. I showed it to Stella, who snorted. My behavior, right. Because walking away quietly is so much worse than attempted murder. They never saw it, I said quietly. They never saw any of it. The way she'd push me down, then cry to them about how I was bullying her. The times she'd break things and blame me. Even during my divorce. When she told your parents Sylvester confided in her about your episodes? Stella's face darkened. Episodes you never had? I stood up, pacing the room. She's built her whole life on lies, and they helped her do it. So what's the plan? Stella asked, already reaching for her notepad. My best friend, the journalist, always ready to investigate. First, I need to contact Harmony, I said, pulling up Facebook. See if she's willing to talk. And then? Then I talked to Sasha Ward. The family lawyer? Stella raised an eyebrow. Think she'll help? She has to. There's a legal obligation to disclose potential liabilities during estate transfers. I smiled grimly. And attempted murder with a documented cover-up? That's one hell of a liability. My phone buzzed again. Lily this time. Mom's really upset, Becca. You know how delicate she is. Why do you always have to make things difficult? Stella read the message and cursed. The nerve of that bite. It's fine, I cut her off, something cold and certain settling in my chest. Let her play the victim one last time. I opened my laptop and began composing an email to Harmony Wells, choosing my words carefully. Dear Harmony, you don't know me, but I'm Lily Jackson's sister. I recently discovered the truth about what happened in 2000. I know this may bring up painful memories, but I believe it's time for the truth to come out. Stella leaned over my shoulder. Think she'll respond? I hit send, then picked up the diary with the damning entries. She will, because people like Harmony and me, we never forget. We just wait for the right moment. To what? To show everyone who the fragile ones really are. The email notification chimed at 3 a.m., jolting me awake. One line from Harmony. Can we video chat? Now? My hands shook as I opened my laptop. When her face appeared on screen, I saw the scar more clearly, a thin white line disappearing into her hairline. Her eyes were sharp, alert despite the late hour. You look like her, Harmony said without preamble. But you're not like her at all, are you? No, I replied. I'm not. Tell me why you're doing this. After 20 years, why now? I told her about the diaries, the inheritance, the years of manipulation. As I spoke, memories flooded back, scenes I'd buried deep. I remember you, I said. You used to sit alone at lunch. Lily would point and whisper things to her friends. And you'd sometimes bring me an extra chocolate milk, Harmony finished. I always wondered why the bully's sister was nice to me. Because I knew what she was like. At home she'd break your things and cry until your parents blamed you. Harmony's smile was bitter. Yeah, she did that to her friends too, until they weren't useful anymore. My phone buzzed. Another text from my mother. Lily's having anxiety attacks about you missing Sunday dinner. Please be reasonable. I showed the message to Harmony, who laughed darkly. Still playing the same games, I see. Did you know they paid your family to move? My parents never told me about the money. Harmony leaned closer to the camera. But I knew something happened. One day I'm in the hospital, the next we're moving across the country. My dad said it was a fresh start. They used my father's retirement fund, $50,000 to make it go away. And now they're giving her everything? Harmony shook her head. That's not right. No, I said. It's not. She was quiet for a moment, then. What do you need from me? A statement. Medical records if you still have them. Anything that proves what really happened that day. Because she told everyone I tripped? She still tells that story. Says it shows how people unfairly blame her for accidents. Harmony's face hardened. I didn't trip. She waited until we were alone in the stairwell. I was walking away, and she grabbed my hair, pulled me backward. The last thing I heard before I fell was her laughing. My stomach churned. I'm so sorry. Don't be. You're not responsible for her actions. Harmony reached for something off screen. I kept everything. The hospital records, the police report that mysteriously disappeared, even my therapy notes. I always knew someday someone would need to know the truth. Will you help me? On one condition. Her voice was steel. When you expose her, I want to be there. I want to see her face when she realizes her perfect life is falling apart. Deal. After we disconnected, I sat in the dark, remembering. The way Lily would cry to our parents about nightmares, claiming she was traumatized by that awful girl's lies. How they'd comfort her, while I watched from the doorway, knowing the truth but unable to prove it. My phone lit up with a text from Stella. "You up? Can't sleep. Thinking about your mom's diaries." "Come over," I replied. "Bring coffee. I just talked to Harmony." 20 minutes later, we sat on my balcony, watching the sun rise. "You know what this means, right?" Stella said, clutching her mug. "Once you do this, there's no going back. Your family. They stopped being my family the day they chose her lies over my truth." I showed her Harmony's follow-up email with scanned documents attached. "Look at the X-rays. The angle of the fall. She's lucky she survived." "Jesus." Stella scrolled through the images. "And your parents covered this up. They thought they were protecting her. Their fragile flower." I laughed bitterly. Even during my divorce, when she told them Sylvester confided in her about my violent outbursts that never happened, they believed her instantly. "Because it fit their narrative," Stella finished. "The strong daughter versus the weak one." "Exactly." I pulled up Sasha Ward's contact information. Time to show them how wrong they were. "What if they try to stop you?" I thought of all the times I'd swallowed my words, buried my pain, played the role they assigned me. The dutiful daughter, the stable one, the survivor. "They can't stop me anymore," I said, pressing the call button. "Because for once, I'm not fighting Lily's lies with my truth." "No? No!" I listened to the phone ring. "I'm fighting them with their own words. Every secret, every cover-up, every time they chose to protect her instead of face what she really is. It's all there in black and white." Sasha's voicemail picked up. I left a message. "This is Rebecca. I need to discuss some concerning information about the estate transfer. It's urgent. And Sasha, bring a recorder. You're going to want proof of everything I'm about to tell you." Sasha's office smelled of leather and lemon polish. She sat across from me, reading glasses perched on her nose as she examined the documents I'd brought. Copies of the diaries, Harmony's medical records, bank statements showing the suspicious transfer. "This is..." She paused, removing her glasses. "This is extremely serious, Rebecca." "I know. Your parents could face legal consequences. The cover-up alone..." She shuffled through the papers. "And the estate transfer would be void, possibly criminal." "I'm not looking to press charges," I said. "I just want the truth exposed, in a controlled environment with witnesses." Sasha leaned back, studying me. "The final estate meeting, next week." "Yes. Your sister will be there. Your parents. The notary." She tapped her pen against the desk. "It could get ugly. It's been ugly for 20 years. At least this time it'll be honest." My phone buzzed, Lily calling again. I declined it, but the voicemail notification popped up immediately. "Play it," Sasha said. "On speaker." I pressed play. "Becca, please." Lily's voice trembled. "Mum's having panic attacks about you skipping Sunday dinner. Dad's talking about postponing the estate transfer until you're in a better place. Why are you doing this to us? To me? I'm your sister." Sasha's expression hardened as she listened. "Interesting timing. Have you told anyone about what you found?" "Just my friends Stella and Harmony." "Why?" "Because this," she gestured to the phone, "sounds like preemptive damage control. She's establishing a narrative of your instability. Again." A knock at the door interrupted us. Sasha's assistant entered with a folder. "The financial records you requested," she said. "From 2000 to 2002, Sasha opened the folder and spread out bank statements. "Look here, multiple withdrawals around the time of the incident, all just under $10,000. To avoid reporting requirements, I realized. "Exactly. And these transfers to an account in Oregon." She made some notes. "The pieces fit, Rebecca, but are you sure you want to do this? It will destroy your family. My phone buzzed again. A text from my mother. Your behavior is concerning us all. Perhaps you should skip the meeting next week, for everyone's sake. I showed it to Sasha, who nodded grimly. They're trying to exclude you. They've been trying to exclude me my whole life, I said. They just never had the courage to do it openly. Until now. Until now. Sasha gathered the documents into a neat pile. I'll make copies. Everything needs to be ready for the meeting. And Rebecca? She met my eyes. Once you start this, I can't stop it. As the family's lawyer, I'm legally obligated to report certain things. I understand. Walking home, I called Stella. It's done. Sasha has everything. How do you feel? I passed the park where Lily and I used to play as children, before she learned how to weaponize her tears, before our parents learned to fear her fragility. I searched for the word. Ready. Lily called me. Stella said quietly. I stopped walking. What? Wanted to check on you. Said you've been acting erratic. Asked if I'd noticed any concerning behavior. My laugh was hollow. Still playing the same game. She's scared, Beck. She knows something's coming. My phone chimed with another text. This time from my father. Please call your mother. She's worried sick about you. They all know something's coming, I replied. They just don't know what. Later that night, I sat at my kitchen table, surrounded by copies of everything. 20 years of lies, carefully documented. 20 years of my sister's calculated fragility and my parents' willing blindness. The final piece arrived in my email, a notarized statement from Harmony, detailing everything. At the bottom, she'd added a personal note. Rebecca, I spent years in therapy dealing with what your sister did to me. Not just the physical injuries, but the psychological damage of being called a liar, of watching her play the victim while I was forced to leave my home, my friends, my life. I'm not that scared teenager anymore. And from what you've told me, you're not the silent witness anymore either. Let's finish this. H. I printed the statement, added it to the pile, and began making copies. One for Sasha, one for the notary, one for each of my parents, and one sealed in an envelope with a local reporter's name on it, just in case they tried to bury the truth one last time. My phone lit up with another message from Lily. Whatever you're planning, please don't. Haven't you hurt this family enough? I didn't respond. Instead, I texted Harmony, everything's ready. See you next week. Her reply came instantly. Can't wait. Time to show them what real fragility looks like. The day before the estate meeting, I found Lily waiting on my doorstep. She wore her victim costume well, oversized sweater, no makeup, eyes wide with manufactured concern. We need to talk, she said, pushing past me into my apartment. Come in, I muttered to the empty doorway. Lily paced my living room, wringing her hands. What are you doing, Becca? Mum can barely sleep. Dad's talking about seeing his doctor for anxiety medication. Interesting how their anxiety always spikes when they can't control me. She stopped pacing. What's that supposed to mean? You know exactly what it means. I moved to the kitchen, putting the counter between us. Like when they had anxiety during my divorce, when they believed your lies about Sylvester. He told me things. He never told you anything. My voice was ice. You made it up, just like you made up everything else. Lily's face changed, subtle but significant. The vulnerable mask slipped for just a second, revealing something harder underneath. Careful, sister, she said softly. You're sounding paranoid again. Am I? I leaned forward. You know, I've been thinking a lot about stairs lately, and skeletons, the kind that don't stay buried. The color drained from her face. What are you talking about? I think you know. How is Harmony these days? Lily grabbed the counter for support. Who? Harmony Mackenzie. though she goes by a different name now. Had to change it after she moved, after the accident. Stop it. Her voice shook. You don't know anything. I know everything, Lily. Every detail. Every lie. Every penny Mom and Dad paid to make it go away. She straightened up, eyes narrowing. They'll never believe you. You're just jealous. You always have been. Jealous? I laughed. Of what? Your carefully constructed helplessness? The way you've trapped our parents in your web of lies? I haven't trapped anyone, she hissed. They love me. They choose me. Every time. Because you've never given them a choice. I pulled out my phone, showed her a photo of the diaries. But choices have consequences, sister dear. Even delayed ones. Lily's hands started shaking. Where did you get those? Mom's attic. She really should have burned them instead of just hiding them. But then again, Mom never could face the truth about you, could she? She lunged for the phone, but I pulled it back. Careful. Wouldn't want another stairway incident, would we? You bitch, she whispered. You're trying to ruin everything. No, I'm just finishing what you started. I walked to the door, opened it. See you tomorrow at the meeting. Don't forget to bring your tears. You're going to need them. After she left, I called Stella. She was here. What happened? She showed her real face. Finally. I sent her a video clip from my security camera, showing Lily's visit. Just in case she tries to claim I threatened her. Smart. Stella paused. How are you holding up? Before I could answer, my phone buzzed with a text from my mother. Lily just called in hysterics. What did you say to her? Then another. This behavior needs to stop. We're postponing tomorrow's meeting. No, I texted back. We're not. I forwarded the messages to Sasha, who responded immediately. Meeting proceeds as scheduled. All parties have been legally notified. Any attempt to postpone could be seen as deliberate obstruction. It's happening, I told Stella. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Want me to come? No, but stay close to your phone. If they try to stop me, I want that envelope delivered to your editor immediately. Later that night, I couldn't sleep. I watched the security footage again. The moment Lily's mask slipped, revealing the monster beneath. The same monster I'd seen that day in high school, watching from a classroom window as they carried Harmony out on a stretcher. My phone lit up with a text from Harmony. Just landed. Hotel's close to the lawyer's office. You ready for this? I thought about all the years of silence, of watching Lily manipulate and destroy while our parents enabled her, of losing my marriage, my inheritance, my family's trust, all because I wouldn't play along with the lies. Ready, I replied. Did you bring it? The medical records? Yes, and something better. Found my old diary from that year. Detailed everything she did leading up to that day. The threats, the stalking, the rehearsed tears when teachers questioned her. Still want to do this? I looked at my mother's diaries, stacked neatly in my briefcase. 20 years of truth, ready to shatter 20 years of lies. Yes, I texted back. It's time they all saw the real Lily, the one behind the tears. Harmony's response was immediate. Then let's give them something to really cry about. Sasha's conference room felt too small for the weight of what was about to happen. My parents sat on one side of the mahogany table, Lily between them like always. The notary, a thin man with wire-rimmed glasses, arranged his papers with mechanical precision. I chose the seat directly across from Lily. Let her see my face when it all came down. Before we begin, Sasha said, setting up a recording device, I need to confirm that all parties consent to this meeting being recorded. My mother's hand fluttered to her throat. Is that necessary? It's standard procedure, Sasha replied smoothly. For everyone's protection. A soft knock at the door made Lily jump. Her eyes widened as Harmony walked in, elegant in a charcoal suit that didn't quite hide her slight limp, another souvenir from the stairs. Who is that? My father demanded. This is a private family matter. Ms. Wells is here as a material witness, Sasha explained. Her presence is relevant to the estate transfer. Lily's fingers trembled as she reached for her water glass. I don't understand. You will, I said quietly. Show them, Sasha. Sasha distributed copies of the first diary entry. My mother's face went ash-white as she recognized her own handwriting. Where did you get these? She whispered. The attic, right next to where you buried the truth about what Lily did. Stop this, my father stood up. We're not doing this today. Sit down, Frank. Sasha's voice was steel. As your lawyer, I strongly advise you to hear everything. There are legal implications you need to understand. Legal implications? Lily's voice rose. From old diaries? This is ridiculous. Becca's just trying to hurt me again. Again? Harmony spoke for the first time. Like you hurt me, Lily? The room went silent. Lily stared at Harmony, really seeing her for the first time. That's impossible, she breathed. You moved away. After your parents paid mine to keep quiet. Harmony placed her own medical records on the table. But money doesn't erase scars or memories. My mother started to cry. We did what we had to do, to protect our daughter. Which daughter? I asked. The one who pushed a girl down the stairs, or the one who watched you cover it up? It was an accident, Lily whispered, but her eyes darted to the door. No. Harmony's voice was steady. It wasn't. You grabbed my hair, you laughed, and then you spent 20 years playing the victim while I learned to walk again. The notary cleared his throat. Miss Ward, given these allegations— They're not allegations, Sasha interrupted, laying out bank statements. They're documented facts, including financial fraud to cover up a violent assault. My father put his head in his hands. We were trying to protect our family. By destroying mine? Harmony asked. By forcing us to move across the country? By letting her, she pointed at Lily, continue hurting people. I never hurt anyone, Lily shrieked, mask finally shattering. You were in my way. You all were. Even you, Becca. Always watching, always judging, always so perfect. Perfect? I laughed. I lost my marriage because you told them I was unstable. Lost their trust because you needed to be the victim. Lost my inheritance because you're fragile. You don't deserve it. Lily stood up, face contorted. You were always the favorite, always so strong, so capable. Do you know what that's like? Living in your shadow. Lily, please. My mother reached for her, but Lily jerked away. Don't touch me. This is your fault too. You made me this way. Always worried about appearances, always making excuses for me, never letting me face consequences. That's enough. Sasha's voice cut through Lily's hysteria. The estate transfer is suspended pending investigation, and as your family's lawyer, I'm obligated to report potential criminal activity. Criminal? My mother gasped. Conspiracy, fraud, obstruction of justice, Sasha listed clinically. The statute of limitations on assault may have expired, but the financial crimes are still prosecutable. Lily collapsed back into her chair, tears flowing. But they weren't her usual calculated drops. These were ugly, raw, real. What do you want? My father asked me quietly. The truth, I replied. All of it. No more lies, no more cover-ups. And then? I looked at Harmony, who nodded slightly. Then we let justice take its course. The real kind, not your version. My mother reached for her purse, probably searching for her anxiety medication. We were trying to protect our family. No, I stood up, gathering my papers. You were protecting your illusions, and now they're broken, just like everything else Lily touched. As I walked out, I heard Lily's voice, small and real for the first time in years. What have I done? The answer hung in the air, written in 20 years of diaries, medical records, and broken lives. Everything. And now, finally, nothing would ever be the same. The aftermath unfolded like a slow-motion car crash. Stella's newspaper ran the story 3 days after the meeting. Local family's dark secret exposed. 20-year cover-up comes to light. I read it at my kitchen table, coffee growing cold beside me. My phone hadn't stopped buzzing since yesterday. "Did you see?" Harmony texted. "It's everywhere." She wasn't exaggerating. Local news picked it up first, then regional. People love stories about perfect families falling apart. My father called around noon. "Your mother's had a breakdown," he said, voice hollow. "She's at Riverside Hospital, psychiatric ward." "I'm sorry," I replied, and meant it. "Are you?" He sounded tired. "This is what you wanted, isn't it?" "No, Dad. I wanted the truth. You're the ones who made it ugly." He hung up without responding. Stella came over with wine and takeout. "You okay?" "Define okay." I showed her my phone. Dozens of missed calls from family friends, distant relatives, even my ex-husband. "Sylvester called?" She grabbed the phone. "The nerve of that bastard. Probably wants to apologize now that everyone knows Lily lied about me." I took a long drink. "Too late." My phone buzzed again. Sasha this time. "Your parents' lawyer called. They want to settle." "Of course they do." I texted back. "Not interested." "The police want to talk to you," Stella said, scrolling through her news feeds. "About the financial fraud angle." "I know. Meeting them tomorrow." I pushed away my untouched food. "Did you see the comments on your article?" "People are shocked, especially about the stairs." She paused. "Have you heard from Lily?" "No, but her husband called. She's gone to some wellness retreat in Arizona. For her anxiety." "Still playing victim?" Old habits die hard. A knock at my door made us both jump. It was my father, looking older than I'd ever seen him. "Can I come in?" I stepped aside, letting him enter. He stood awkwardly in my living room, staring at the floor. "Your mother," he started, then stopped. "She keeps asking for Lily. Says she needs to protect her." "From what? The truth?" "From herself." He finally met my eyes. "The doctors say, they say this pattern of enabling, it's destroyed both of them. And me. All of us." "Not all of us," I said quietly. "Some of us survived." "Rebecca," his voice broke. "I failed you. We failed you." "Yes," I replied simply. "You did. The house is being seized," he continued, "for the fraud investigation. Your mother's medical bills. I don't know what to do." Stella quietly slipped out, giving us privacy. "You do what I did," I told him. "You start over. You build something real." "How?" He looked lost. This man who had once seemed so solid. "How did you do it?" "One day at a time, without lies, without Lily's games." I poured him a glass of water. "But you have to want it, Dad. Really want it." My phone buzzed. A message from Harmony. "My lawyer says they're offering a settlement. Should we take it?" "No," I typed back. "Let them face everything." "Your sister's husband is filing for divorce," my father said suddenly. "Did you know?" I hadn't, but I wasn't surprised. The truth changes everything. "Was it worth it?" he asked. "Destroying our family?" "You destroyed it," I corrected him. 20 years ago, when you chose lies over justice, I just exposed what was already broken." He nodded slowly, tears in his eyes. "I should go. Your mother. They only allow short visits." At the door, he turned back. "That girl, Harmony, how is she?" "Strong," I said. "Like she always was. Like I had to be." After he left, I called Harmony. "How are you holding up?" "Better than your family," she replied. "My therapist says this is good closure." "Is it?" "Getting there." She paused. "Your mom's doctor called me. Wants to know if I'll consider a supervised meeting. For healing." "Will you?" "Maybe. When I'm ready." She took a breath. "You know what's strange? I'm not even angry anymore. I just feel free." I looked around my apartment, at the life I'd built after they tried to break me, at the strength they never wanted to see. "Yeah," I said. "I know exactly what you mean." My phone lit up with another text, this time from Lily. "I'm sorry. For everything. I don't know how to be any other way." I showed it to Harmony, who was still on the line. "What are you going to say?" she asked. I stared at the message for a long moment, then typed, "I know. That's why I had to stop you. Goodbye, Lily." Then I blocked her number, poured another glass of wine, and finally felt the weight of 20 years lift from my shoulders. The autumn wind scattered leaves across the park bench where Harmony and I sat, watching children play on the swings. My mother's final diary lay between us, unopened. "Are you sure you want to read it?" Harmony asked. "No," I admitted, "but I need to." The last entry was dated just before I found them in the attic. My mother's handwriting was shaky. "I've created a monster. My Lily. My beautiful, broken girl. Every lie I told to protect her only made her worse. And Rebecca, my strong one. I sacrificed her strength to feed Lily's weakness. What kind of mother does that make me?" I closed the diary. She knew. All along, she knew. "Of course she did," Harmony said softly. "That's why she hid them instead of destroying them. She wanted someone to find them." My phone buzzed. A text from Stella. "Court date's set. You ready?" "As ready as I'll ever be," I replied. "The fraud charges," Harmony guessed. I nodded. "Dad took a plea deal. Mom's doctors say she's not competent to stand trial. And Lily—" "Still at the wellness center?" "No, she checked herself out. Her husband's lawyer says she's contesting the divorce. Claims she's the victim of his emotional abuse." Harmony's laugh was bitter. "Some things never change." "But we did," I said, watching a little girl help her younger sister on the slide. "We got stronger." "Your father called me yesterday," Harmony said suddenly. I turned to her, surprised. "What did he want?" "To apologize. He's been going to therapy. Wanted to know if I'd consider meeting him and your mom. Said she's doing better. Starting to understand what she did wrong." "Will you?" "Maybe." She touched the scar on her forehead. "Not for them. For me." A familiar figure approached across the park. Sasha, carrying a thick envelope. "It's done," she said, sitting beside us. "The estate's been liquidated to cover the legal settlements and your mother's care. There's something left, though." She handed me the envelope. "Your father insisted." Inside was a deed to a small property I'd never known about, a cabin by the lake where we'd vacationed as children, before everything went wrong. "He signed it over to you," Sasha explained. "Said it was always meant to be yours, the one place Lily never tainted." My hands trembled. "I don't want anything from them." "Take it," Harmony said quietly, "not as their daughter, but as the person who finally broke the cycle." My phone lit up. A message from my father. "The cabin's yours. No strings, no expectations, just truth." "Speaking of truth," Sasha pulled out her tablet. "The newspaper's running a follow-up story. They want to interview both of you. About survival, not victimhood." "What do you think?" I asked Harmony. She watched the children playing, their laughter carrying on the wind. "I think it's time to tell our story. The real one." "No more hiding," I agreed. "No more lies," she added. Sasha smiled. I'll set it up. And Rebecca, your mother's doctor called. She's been asking for you. Not yet, I said firmly. I'm not ready. That's okay too. Harmony squeezed my hand. Healing isn't a race. We sat in comfortable silence, watching the sun sink lower. A small girl fell near our bench, scraping her knee. Her sister helped her up, dried her tears, made her laugh. Look at them, Harmony whispered. That could have been us. Should have been us. It wasn't, I said. But maybe our story will help another Rebecca. Another Harmony. Worth it then? I thought about the cost. My family shattered. My mother in treatment. My sister still spinning lies. But I also thought about the truth, finally free. The justice finally served. The strength finally acknowledged. Yes, I said. Worth everything. My phone buzzed one last time, an unknown number. A message from Lily, using a new phone. I'm getting help, real help. Not for them, not for you, for me. I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know. I showed it to Harmony, who read it thoughtfully. Do you believe her? I don't know, I admitted. And for the first time, I don't care. Her story isn't mine anymore. I picked up my mother's diary and the deed to the cabin. Want to help me burn these? No, Harmony said firmly. Keep them, as proof that you were always strong enough to face the truth, that we both were. The sun set behind the trees, casting long shadows across the park. In the growing darkness, two survivors sat together, holding on to truth instead of lies, choosing freedom over false family, and finally at peace with their own strength. They called me the survivor, I said softly. They were right, Harmony replied, just not in the way they meant, and in the quiet of that understanding, we both smiled, knowing that sometimes the happiest endings come not from forgiveness, but from finally, irrevocably letting go.